It is a beautiful day in Northern California. From what I've heard, the crabs have been biting. So I've got my 2 crab snares. I'm on the sandy beach and I'm gonna catch some Dungeness crabs with my fishing rod, these 2 crab snares. Now, if you didn't know, this is a crab snare. I made this myself with 16 gauge hardware cloth. It's got a 5-ounce weight on here on the bottom. If the current is too strong, I can put a couple more ounces on it. It's got a snap swivel here, and that connects to the main line of my fishing rod. Now, when I made this crab snare, I made sure that all these loops are standing up. So when the weight and the crab snare fall to the bottom of the ocean floor like that, the snare loops will be staying up, ready for any crab that crawls in and gets the bait. Now, you saw earlier that I froze some mackerel and squid, and let's see if they'll come out of their little holes. Oh yeah, there they come. Perfect. So they're frozen and they smell bad. So I'm gonna be super careful I don't get them everywhere, but that should fit perfectly in the crab snare. And while it's out in the water, it should melt. So 2 per snare. I'm gonna get 4 out right now. Actually, I think we could do 3 per snare. So these ice cubes fit perfectly in this crab snare. And when they get out there, they'll melt in the ocean water. But as you can see, there's this releasable zip tie right here. So what I'm gonna do with this zip tie is I'm going to put the piece of squid in here and zip tie it right up to the top. That way, if any crab comes along and I want him to stick around, he's gonna stay around and he's gonna start chomping on this squid. Never tried any of this before. Never tried the zip tie on top, and I've never tried these frozen ice cubes, but that should keep the crab around. So one thing that I always make sure to do when I'm rock fishing or crab snaring, but especially crab snaring, is set my drag all the way. Now this ensures 2 things. One, when you're ready to set the hook on the crab, when you set it, your drag won't be peeling out and you can get a good hook on the crab, good hook set on the crab. Another thing is if you're not wearing gloves, you're just using skin and you're ready to cast, sometimes you'll be casting 10 ounces of weight when the current is really strong. Sometimes you'll be casting so much weight that if your drag is accidentally loose, when you cast, that pressure from the weight coming out will pull drag. You'll have your line here with 10 ounces of weight. The line will cut your finger as you hold it, getting ready to cast. So make sure your drag is set tight so when you cast, it doesn't pull out. All right, we are starting off at 0, and we will check the crab snare when the minute hand hits the 10 right there. Now, I know it's really hard to see for you guys, but there's the line coming off the rod and it's going straight out there. It's bowed a little bit, which is fine, but the weight hasn't moved. That's the 6-ouncer. This is the 5-ouncer, and both have not moved, which is great, which means I won't have to add any more weight. So just a couple more minutes and we will be ready for our first pull. All right, coming up on 10 minutes right now. First pull of the season. So my drag is set tight. I'm reeling in all the slack and I'm just gonna give it a yank. There's a crab on here, baby. Feels like a small one. Oh man, don't even have one. Shoot, it's just a heavy weight. Everything is melted and my squid is gone. So that's a little bit too long to wait for this type of snare. I'm only gonna wait 5 minutes next time. It seems like there's a lot of crab out there. Next one. Feels like there's something on there, but it's light, whatever it is, if there is one. Little baby female rock crab. Well, it works, letting her go. Lesson learned, it takes less than 10 minutes for the ice to melt. So I'm gonna do maybe 5 minutes next time, see what happens. And if the ice doesn't work, I've got squid and mackerel I can throw in here too. And we wait.
Hello.
You might call it superstitious, but I'm not even going to talk on this one until I bring it in. Yeah, baby! Look how he was snared too. 2 snares on this one claw, 1 snare on these 2 legs. That's what it does when you keep the loops up. All right, let's give him a measure. This is a crab gauge, similar to a lobster gauge. This slot here is California, then it's Washington and Oregon. So it just needs to touch in 2 spots here on the California side, and it does. It does, baby. First crab of the season, and it's a male too. Let's go. Reel down to it and just set that thing hard. Oh yeah, baby, another one. Let's go. Hey, there's crab out here. All right, so I was thinking, I'm gonna reel this one in and talk to you guys. So the ice cubes, they melt all the way. All the ice was gone on that last crab snare. So I'm thinking the way to do it with this ice, the ice just helps with a little bit of attractants. So use some squid, use some mackerel, use some chicken in the snare, and throw an ice cube in there too, why not? Just give it a little extra bait. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, I might have came off. No, we got one. Oh, we got 2. 2 small ones. Look, everything's gone from inside. So now I know, make sure to put something inside that will keep the bait on. This one is definitely too small, but it is a male too. And these crab snares are working great. Dungeness crab, baby. These are like $8.99 a pound right now. Let's go. Got me excited running around. Fisherman's life, baby. All right, just another 5 minutes and I'm gonna check the snares again. Now I gotta say, if you're out here and you're letting your crab snare soak for 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and you don't get anything on 4, 5, 6 pulls, it's probably time to call it. I mean, let it soak that long, you're just wasting time. But if you're pulling it every 5 minutes and you're getting the crab every pull, that's good crabbing, baby. Now, one annoying thing is these damn seagulls. You gotta be very careful you don't leave your bait out, or these seagulls, they'll sneak up and grab it and go, and you'll be left with no bait and no way to crab. So always make sure, keep your bait in your cooler, keep it in a bag and your backpack over it or something. Or else these seagulls, they're gonna get it. They're just standing around watching like little vultures. By the way, when you're crab snaring on the beach, at least in San Francisco, you can have as many rods as you want. All right, let's get this crab right here. Oh, damn it. Felt like there was one there for a sec. Damn. Man, no crabs. Been on a slow run right now. One thing I do gotta say that I think this could be an improvement is if these loops were a little bit bigger. Each one of these, this is weed whacker line, and each one I cut 12 inches long. If I cut them about 16 inches long, they would be a little bigger and have more chance for a crab to get snagged. But it looks like something's been eaten, because squid is out, and it sure felt heavy at first. I'm gonna do it a little differently. I'm only gonna put 1 ice cube in each of the trays, and then put a bunch of squid, because I got a bunch of squid. Might as well use it up. So, a little bit about this setup. This is a size 8,000 Penn Pursuit, and this is a 13-foot fib link rod. Never heard of it before, but all I was doing when I found this rod was trying to find the longest and heaviest rod possible. The next option is something from Bass Pro called the Ocean Master. It's 12 foot long and casts 6 to 12 ounces. This is 13 foot long, casts 4 to 8 ounces. So that Ocean Master could cast these snares farther, and it probably is a better crab snaring rod, but this thing is 55 bucks. That Ocean Master is 190. Now actually they just had a sale. It was like 120, 129 or something. So I bought an Ocean Master also just to compare. So soon I'm gonna be doing a video comparing this rod to that Ocean Master rod. That'll be fun. This damn seagull's trying to eat the bag with my weights in it. There's no bait in it even. God dang it. Oh yeah, oh my gosh. Okay, I did something a little different on this one. Man, whatever this is, it's huge, or there's like 3 crabs on it. So on this one, I put some squid back on that zip tie on the outside. I feel like just having something for them to stay there, like that ice cube is gonna attract them here, and that bait on the zip tie is gonna keep them there. So let's get this thing in. It feels big, whatever the heck it is. Unless it's just a small one. Oh, here it is, here it is. Here it comes. That's a keeper. Hell yeah. Oh man, look at that. Look at this. This thing is huge. Where'd my crab cage go? This thing is at least 7 inches. This is a jumbo. They call them jumbos, and this is a damn jumbo. Look at this thing. The crab is bigger than the crab gauge. Let's go, baby. There's so much meat on this thing. Hell yeah. Bringing home, we're doing a catch and cook, and we're bringing home food today. Let's go, man. These crab snares are like $15 a piece, unless you make them yourself. So if you want your gear to last, really important to take care of it. So every time I'm done, I give it a wash, give it a rinse. When I get home, I'll do it again with fresh water. Make sure there's no squid left over on it. And after that, I'll make sure all the snare loops are in their proper position, and I'll let it dry at home, and it'll be ready to go next time, good as new. If you don't take care of them after you crab snare, they'll get all messed up. You'll have to buy another one. $15 down the drain. Well, I gotta say, I think the zip ties, or just having bait on the outside of the snare, really keeps the crabs around. Now I know that zip tie needs to be fine-tuned a little bit. Maybe I can find a way to thread something through it and then secure it. But either way, I think that zip tie and keeping some bait on the outside of the snare really helps keep the crabs in one location. Well, now, man, this thing is nice. Probably about 6 3/4, almost 7 inches. And I don't want to do it just the normal old-fashioned butter, garlic, and that's it. I thought of something different. So I'm gonna cook it and tell me what you think. I think it's gonna be freaking delicious. The first thing that's gonna take the longest to do is boil some water. And you always wanna match the salinity of the ocean water when you're cooking crab. So I'm gonna head down to the ocean, scoop up some salt water, and get that boiling first. And then I'll dispatch this crab and clean them up. All right, barely any sand in there. So if you're from the Bay Area and you don't know by now, commercial crab season was supposed to open in November, but it's closed now until December 16th. So there's another week or so that you can get your crab before all the commercial guys get it. Now, one of my favorite ways, easiest ways for me at least, to dispatch this crab is to just hold all its legs just like this. Look at that crab, man. That thing is massive. That's a good looking crab. Hold it like that. And you see right on top there where his mouth is, that's where you want to hit on a rock, and that'll just pop the whole head right off. Another way is just to grab on the side here and pull it off. But if you have something sharp, ready, crabby? 1, 2, 3. All right, head comes right off. See that? You got a dead crab. It's ready to eat. I always take off the apron right here. You can get some of the guts out. These are its lungs. Just want to take those off too before you boil it. You can either steam it or boil it. I'm going to choose to boil it since I'm using salt water. It's going to really get that extra salt flavor inside the crab. Take off its mouth. And that's pretty much good to go. All you got to do now is break it in half. 1 crack, 2 cracks, and shake out the guts. Now the reason I'm not cooking it whole with the head on is because these guts have a higher level of domoic acid, and still recommended that you don't boil it all with the guts. Take out the guts first before you boil it, and it'll reduce your chance of getting domoic acid poisoning. Shake it out. That's it. Clean crab. All right, now we wait. Almost boiling. Oh yeah. Ooh, still a little movement on there. So fresh, look at that move. Add another one, let's have them cook evenly. All right, another one, number 2. Get in there. Man, look at that. Oh, it's moving. Got no head though. If you do a catch and cook like this out at the beach, make sure you keep the carapace, keep the head, because this is the only way to identify if it's a legal catch or not. If any game warden comes by, now you have proof. Don't throw this away if you cook your crab on the beach. While the crab finishes up, I'm going to cut up a little butter and get started on that. Now, the secret ingredient I have is this. Brown sugar. And if you can guess what I'm going to do, you might know how it's going to taste already. I've never seen crab cooked like this before. Just thought of it the other night. I think it's going to add a whole nother layer to it. So Let's get this butter melted. Oh my gosh. All right, I just gotta try this before doing the recipe. Look at that chunk of meat. Isn't it amazing how a crab can just be so naturally sweet? Never ceases to amaze me. So every big Dungeness crab has legs like this. This is the difference between a nice big red rock crab and a Dungeness crab. There's so much meat in the legs. And if it's a hard shell, this thing is gonna be full of meat. That's gonna be just one huge chunk of meat. So there's 8 legs on each crab, if it's a healthy one. I'm gonna get the meat out of here and see what I do next. See what I mean? All meat, all meat. This is like 4 grams probably about 4 grams. So I'm gonna do that for every leg. Got the crab all laid out, ready to eat, ready to do this new recipe. Butter cooking. Butter looks like it's hot. Yes, it is. Put to the side. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. Take one of these legs, dip it in the brown sugar. Actually, not enough brown sugar is getting on there. So first, we're gonna dip it in the butter. This is already good enough, just how it is, just like that. But if I do that first and then dip it in the brown sugar, I should be able to hold a little more sugar. Maybe that's too much. All right, there's one piece. That's probably delicious right there, just like that, damn. All right, gonna take another one. I'm gonna do it for all the legs. Well, I'm just really curious, so before I even torch it, here's a little butter and just some brown sugar. Let's see how that tastes. I mean, it's really good. It's really good, but I don't think I would go out of my way to do that. But let's see if we torch it, how it changes it. All right, bust out the torch. That looks good. Just caramelizing it. If I toast the cutting board, that's okay. Flip it to the other side. All right, if anything, this will definitely give me an idea of how this tastes. It smells damn delicious. I'm just gonna taste it without the butter yet. That's good. That's really good. If you like sugar, this is not bad at all. Let me add a little butter to it now. Man, that's really good. Wow. Ooh, yeah. Especially if you add a little butter to the outside. If you dip this in butter, first you get the savory saltiness of the butter, and then you get the sweet, really sweet, something you weren't expecting with the crab, and then you get to the crab meat. So damn, this does add another little level to Dungeness crab. Wow, I like that. Woo. Ooh, that sweetness just lingers a little bit. That's damn good. This is a good recipe. Ooh, that's really good. I like that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Ooh, I like that. It's worth a try. You never know. Everybody likes things differently on different levels to different extremes. You might love it, or you might like it a little bit. So it's worth a try, but get yourself a little torch. Damn, I like that a lot. It's almost Christmas. If you go on my website, Fisherman's Life, use the code butterlife. Get a t-shirt, get a cap. I got stickers. I got straw hats, custom straw hats coming. They're not here yet, but use the code butterlife, get 20% off of everything until Christmas is over. So get a gift for somebody, fishermanslife.net. Thanks for watching. Wow, that is delicious. Love it. I'm gonna relax here, eat in front of all these seagulls, let them get jealous, go home, clean up, smell a little bit like squid. So all in the fisherman's life, baby. Hell yeah. Ooh, it's so good. If you're gonna try this recipe, I suggest putting butter on your crab before you put the torch to it. That way the sugar won't burn so fast. And if you do it this way too, you don't have to eat cold crab.